It's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's our goal. Hey, it's time for breaking bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. I'm Tom Papa. Thank you so much for coming along. We have another great show for you today. We have the great Andrew Rea from the Babish culinary universe. You know him from his amazing literal universe that he's carved out for himself on YouTube. He has this great sense of humor, sense of style, sense of education. His videos are they're just amazing, and I can't wait. I'm so excited that we got him. This is a big get for us here at Breaking Bread. This is somebody in the food world that I've been checking out for a long time, and that he's going to be a part of our little conversation. Come on! I told you this was going to be good. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you, as always, for your comments. It's much appreciated and helps spread the word to all of our good friends out there in the Breaking Bread world. You guys kick ass, and continue also sending all of your attempts at bread and your successes and failures and any kind of encouragement you're giving me. Also, look, we're all learning as we go along, and this is the time. I literally was saying last week, to dial back on the food and the joy and the drinking, just because the holidays are over. It's not happening this year. It's the pandemic. I can't even leave my house right now in Los Angeles. You think I'm going to stop enjoying those two things? Then what? Why torture ourselves? So keep enjoying yourself. A big shout out today to Helix Sleep. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you a mattress that will give you the best sleep of your life. I know some of you are sleeping on some saggy old mattresses at night, and it does affect your sleep, and you, especially now, need better sleep. So give yourself an upgrade and find your perfect mattress at helixsleep.com/papa, P-A-P-A. I sleep on one myself. I got one from these fine folks the end of last year, and it's changed everything. I'm telling you, it's great. More about that a little later. What have I been eating and drinking this week? Holy Toledo! Well, like I said, I haven't stopped. I haven't stopped the drinking and enjoying myself. I'm not going at a holiday pace, but I will say that I did this thing where I left the bottles on the island in the kitchen, where, because I just like seeing the label, because I wanted to tell a friend about it if it wasn't completely done. And in very short time, there was quite a collection of bottles on the island in my kitchen. And I realized this isn't ornamental. This is what has gone inside my body during this time. Mostly red wine, all red wine, 1 glass of white. And that's the little tale I'll tell you right now. Not a fan of white wine. I know some people say you don't get it. I do get it. I've had really great white wine. Nice Rieslings, different things from France, and Pinot Grigios from Italy. I know. And on at the right moment, with the right fish, I guess, I'll open it and be like, yes, this is nice during the middle of the day, nice, refreshing. Does it say I don't have a sophisticated palate? Maybe I'm just a rube. But there's more soul in red wine. There, I said it. More soul. It'll take you to higher places, different places. I just like it. But I got a bottle of white from somebody during the holidays, and it was a decent bottle, I suppose. It was in the refrigerator chilling, as it should. And I was like, my wife my wife, as much as I love red wine, and she does too, her hangover's a little headachy. Red wine isn't great for everybody. So I threw out a sign of compromise. And I said, hey, how about this bottle of white? Let's do that today. That'll be nice. Yeah, that'll be fun. And I went to get the white wine glasses out of the cabinet, which, again, a nice red wine glass. Nice shape, little weight to it. Nothing too gigantic. I don't want to go to that crazy trend. But just there's a little more roundness. You want it to open up more, so it gives you a little more surface area. It's something you can hold in your big mitts. But now I've got to go through the cabinet and find the white wine glasses. It's not hard to find, but I found a bunch, and you could tell my disrespect for the vintage, because it's just every white wine glass is a different size and a different shape, and it was upsetting to me just as a person, as a grown up. You should have your glassware in order, and with my reds I do. I know I've got 4 of these, and I've got 4 of those, and 2 of those, and the white totally neglected. And again, am I willing to learn? Sure. If you want to write in and be like, Papa, I'm telling you, you're wrong. Try this, do this. I'll listen. I'm not closed off. I may be ignorant, but I'm not stupid. So I made a comment that maybe we should get some more glasses if we're going to do this from time to time. It's just, my wife said, oh, who knows? Who cares? I'm like, oh, our guests will. It's just, I don't know. I just like order. Let's do things right. We're at an age now where, when you're in college and you're just breaking stuff out and you drink out of jelly glasses, out of mason jars, you don't really care. And there's a lot of part of me that doesn't at this point, but that's how you live back then. You've got so much going on in your mind as a young person about how you're going to survive, what you're going to be, where you're going to go, what your hormones are doing to you. You just, wine glasses, getting them all to match? No. I can't even yell at my kids all the time when they don't even see the disaster they're creating in the kitchen. They literally don't see it. I'll be like, can you clean up the dishes? And they'll go and take the one spoon that they used and then leave everything else. And from my point of view, it's like, well, don't you see the rest of it? Of course, I would see the rest of it. Bella, obviously, she would see it. She's very angry. But they don't see it, and why should they? They've got enough going on. Doesn't mean that I can't yell and scream about it, but I digress. As an adult, I figure we should get the right glasses. So I pull out the 2 closest. They're nice. They're whatever. I pour the white wine in, and I go to sit down, and within 2 seconds, I smashed it. This is your subconscious sometimes goes to work. When you think you're playing along and you're being a good guy and you're pouring this white wine and you're going to spend that moment with your wife and do the right thing, and within a second, I smashed that glass on a marble coffee table full. I didn't even take a sip. It was all on the rug, on the couch, and this glass shattered like it knew I was coming to kill it, and it decided, well, I'm going to make the biggest mess I can just so you know that I know how much you didn't even want to take me out of the cabinet. This was, I don't know, 5 days ago, and my wife was just in there and just found another piece of glass in her foot. We have vacuumed, we have swept, we have used rags, we just have gone to town. And you know what? At the end of the day, it just means white wine's stupid. Yeah. If that was red, I would have cherished it. I would have taken care of it. I wouldn't have put it on that slippery coaster. I don't even know if it was a foot or a arm. I don't even think I did it. I think I did it with my mind. and it slid right off and just Smashville. Not with red. That would have been just cherished. I don't think I've broken a red wine glass in my life. I don't think it's ever happened, and it never will. I've broken martini glasses. That is a hard thing to find. To find a good classic, not too small like it was in the 1930s, not too big as it is from 2010 on, with these giant goblets. To find that sweet spot of what a proper martini should be. I'm telling you, I've gone to antique stores looking for them. If you have an idea out there, my friends, of a good martini glass, of the size I am talking, not too big, not too small, something ornate, not too heavy, not too big of a stem, if you can find that for me, I will be your friend for life. And if you sell them, I will buy all that you have. I found something that had the top part of the glass, like where you actually put the liquid, that was the right size, and it's got these big, heavy stem that kind of zigzags. You don't need that. A zigzag stem. It's like a 1980s mystery thriller. If that makes sense to you, we should be friends. We have an amazing show for you today. We have Andrew Rea, who is the creator of the Babish culinary universe. So incredibly slick, cool, funny. He's what he's done is what everybody on YouTube wants to do at some point. To actually go into a space where other people have lived and you create your own thing. I just can't say enough. I look at it and I think, you look at it and you think that's what I should be doing. That's how I should be. This is how all food shows should be. He gets right to it. You learn something. It's shot in this very cool way. He thinks about every detail. You literally learn, but there's no arrogance to him. There's no I know more than you. You always feel like he knows a little more than you, if that makes sense, which makes it so watchable. He's got, from the Babish culinary universe, I mean, he does not need our promos. This is purely out of fun, and I'm just doing this out of respect, because he has like 8 million people that watch his videos for good reason every week. Binging with Babish, just hilarious. He takes these great meals, sometimes that you've seen, sometimes that you haven't, from television shows and from movies, and then he recreates them for us. He also has Stump Sophia on his network, Stump Sophia, which is this great, she's part of the, I think she comes from the Bon Appetit universe. Then he has his Basics with Babish, which is just telling you straight up how to make stuff. I mean, look, anybody who makes the Krabby Patty Supreme in the real world from SpongeBob is somebody you need in your life. Jon Favreau's a huge fan. I'm a huge fan. I can't wait to talk to him. And then we're going to take a quick bite. As I record this, I don't know who we are going to be calling this week. But by the time it comes out, it'll be posted and you'll see it. But right now, I don't even know who we're going to have a quick bite with. But we will be calling and seeing one of our friends and seeing what they're eating and what they're doing. But right now, let's spend some time with the very talented Andrew Rea. Thanks for being here. It's really nice to meet you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. I'll geek out when we get started, but I'm a big fan. So this was exciting.
All right, let's do it.
Exciting email to get.
Yeah, very cool. Well, first of all, I'm going to start off the interview by complimenting your glass, because I like that style glass. I love how it kind of tapers down to the triangle. Yeah, exactly.
The squared off edges.
And
Schatzweissel.
Yeah. What's that?
Schatzweissel, the German stuff.
It's so good. You're so dialed in. This is what I love about your whole thing. Really. every detail. I was just telling my producer, I said, it's so funny. I'm like literally before the interview, like, is the light okay? Does this blow? Is it too screwed up here? I'm like, we're doing all these like tiny little tweaks to the guy who has figured out every little detail. Is that just in you, or is it something that just you've developed over time?
Well, I went to school for film, and as much as I appreciate and take that that compliment to heart, you might see a ghostly orange glow here, and that's because there's a heat lamp, right? Because my entire heating system isn't working. So don't worry, this is a veneer. This is just a facade, but I appreciate it.
Well, it's so nice to meet you. Really, I'm a big fan of your whole universe now. It's gone to that level where you are no longer just a dude with a show on YouTube. You've tapped into this part of the culinary world. I'm not even gonna say you tapped into a part of the culinary world. You've carved out a very unique space for yourself, and I have to say, I'm really looking forward to this interview because I'm very, very impressed.
That's extremely kind of you, and maybe I should say this off camera, but my girlfriend and I are, I don't want to call us stand-up junkies. We're stand-up sickos. Like we listen to stand-up the way most people listen to music. So like, we'll be like, hey, let's open up a bottle of wine and put on some Papa tonight, darling. And so we're very long-time fans of yours. And I almost got to see you. Where was it? I think it was at the Cellar, but something happened and I wasn't able to see. I missed my one shot, but I'm hoping once the world opens back up, you'll look down, you'll see a shiny head in the crowd.
I can't wait. Well, thank you very much. So it's about time that we met, and this is kind of the cool part about the pandemic as far as the media goes. It's like normally you'd have to wait to get my ass back to New York to set this up to see you. So it's nice that we could actually hook this up. It's a very cool thing.
Absolutely.
What are you drinking? What are you drinking?
My girlfriend picked this up for me. She said it was expensive, so I'm going to trust that it was good. It's a Napa Cab. In terms of reds, that's pretty much all I drink. I just like soft round cabs. Black Stallion.
Nice.
How about yourself?
Oh, very nice. I have a bottle. This is a bottle of Villa Antinori. It's from Tuscany. I haven't cracked it open yet, but I got it from the Kermit Lynch distributor up in Berkeley, and I got turned on to wines that they bring in from reading Jim Harrison, which is this great author who's very decadent. He wrote a lot of stuff for Esquire, really big lunch, and you'd really like him. Have you ever read him?
I have not. That sounds like my cup of tea, though. So I'm gonna Google that immediately after this.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's since passed, but he was one of America's great writers and one of the most decadent eaters and drinkers. And he would like hunt in Michigan and stuff and live in cabins, but he would have all of this great wine shipped to his place, and he just loved food so much, and he had this love of this wine, the Chateauneuf de Pape, called Telegraph. And I was like, where do I find this? I got to find this wine that this man is so in love with. And it was this Kermit Lynch winery distributor out of Berkeley. So now I've gone over the edge where I get their newsletter and I just keep sending them money.
Chateau de Pape. I think I remember you mentioning that in your book when you went to a very nice steakhouse. You don't remember any vegan meals you've gotten at Whole Foods, but you remember every single medium rare steak you've gotten with every bottle of Chateau. I think that's what you mentioned.
Yeah, that's it. Very good. Thank you very much. That's a nice little nugget that you pulled out for sure. Now that leads me to my first question to you. Did you start out, you went to film school, so you had this artistic bent to tell stories and put stuff out, but did you start with a love of food or of cooking, or has that developed as you've gone along? Because one of the really cool parts of the many cool elements of what you do is that you don't come off as a know-it-all. It's actually the opposite. You're like, hey, I'm learning this. I'm not good at this yet. Check out this guy's recipe. But there had to be some kind of food cooking bug in you at some point.
It was really funny that as you said that I don't come across as a know-it-all. I was aerating my wine in my mouth like an asshole, just like. No, Tom, I'm just like all of you. No, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I'm
no,
a common man.
I've always had a love of food. My mom instilled that in me when I was very young. She would always make all of our meals and would like try to teach me how to make the more basic stuff. She died when I was very young, so it was very, the simple stuff, chocolate chip cookies, and
Right.
she would go outside and scoop up snow and pour maple syrup on it like we were Canadians. And
Oh my God.
So she always like instilled that love of food. And then I thought I was like a really good cook all through high school. I was a terrible cook. I would, stuff chicken breasts with like cream cheese and chives and stuff, and they would be undercooked on the outside and overcooked on the outside. It was a nightmare for my girlfriend at the time to have gone through. I actually had a choice to make when I graduated high school. I was like, okay, am I going culinary or am I going film? And I decided to choose the much more stable career path. I went film.
Nice.
And my dad's a photographer, so he, that kind of felt like following in his footsteps. He's a professor at Rochester, was a professor at Rochester Institute. He retired. So I always had that kind of thing in mind. It's all kind of familial. You being a father, I'm sure you understand that. Both your daughters are stand-up comedians, right?
Very close. One is a lot funnier than I am. How old were you when your mom passed?
So I was 11. She died of her third bout with breast cancer. She beat it twice, and then third time around it was too much. And I don't know how deep you like to go on these things, but one of the most important things for me was back in high school. We had a hospice class where it was this is in high school. We had a class where the first semester we study the spiritual or chemical or just societal aspects of death and dying and what we interpret it as and what actually happens chemically and physically. And then the latter half spent volunteering at hospices, and I had been repressing all this pain for 8 years, and then finally I was able to just like actually confront it. And now that program is spreading to other high schools. It's an experience I wish everybody in high school could have.
Yeah, God, it sounds like something everybody at every level should have.
Yeah, it's a rough but very humanizing, important experience. I think it was a very important experience for me, and everybody who I've ever spoken to has gone through it. Anyway, we're here to talk about food. I don't know if
No, but I mean, that is, I think, the most important elements, I think, of what turns us on about food and sends us down these pathways is very much from where we came from and who was feeding you for the first time. All of that stuff is, I mean, that informs us in ways that we don't even really recognize, I think, until you get old and pontificate with scotch at the end of the night when you're kind of looking back. But that's important stuff. And it's your father having an eye of that's gotta, you've obviously caught that bug or that talent.
Yeah, no, well, thank you. He was a photojournalist, so I initially wanted to go into documentary filmmaking, and there's no money in that. But I went to film school and I graduated, interned like crazy, just working three different jobs and trying to make it in New York City before I landed a full-time job in visual effects, and I worked in post-production for commercials, and it just wasn't scratching the itch. So I started working on documentaries on the side, and then I got into food photography, and then I set up a camera in my kitchen and was watching Parks and Rec, and they were doing a burger cook-off, and I was like, what would that actually taste like? And now here we are talking about it. So that's the YouTube way.
God.
The YouTube story.
Yeah, man, it is so great. I mean, the thing that's so impressive to me is distillation down to this basic idea, like that thing, that simple, fun, $1 million idea, really. Because to it, and then it of course opens up all these other paths, but the simplicity of it is so great. And this is a compliment which I'll get sometimes in comedy, which is so obnoxious, but I totally get it, so I'm going to give it to you, is that you make it look so easy that everybody thinks they can do it. You know what I mean? It really, you watch your stuff and you're like, oh man, no idea the hours and the thought that goes into each of these videos.
Well, I mean, you're very flattering saying that. First off, very kind thing to say, but you know what you're doing. I've watched your cooking videos. You can make sourdough in circles around me, man. So
I know, but my YouTube videos of how to make it, they're just long, and I just start talking and babbling about other things. And your thing is so clean. That I think is such a turn on to me too. Is my daughter loves to cook, and she's 15 years old and baking. She's really good, but when she gets out of there, it's like a tsunami just came through, and we're cleaning up for days after making chocolate chip cookies. Your thing of this ingredient and there's no trace of it, and it's just so clean. Oh, it's the aesthetic of it all.
That is a facade. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn my camera in each direction. You can see the fucking mess that is just everything else. So, everything looks nice and clean over here. Over here, we have, just the stuff pile over back in the back.
Yeah.
Rack focus. And then over here, we have the test kitchen, which is just a smattering of stuff. But sorry, I can't see it very well, but it's I very much appreciate that, but it is an illusion to try and make cooking look a little easier. Sorry, I got a rack focus for myself here again.
I know, but that's just another element that's so appealing and makes it so watchable. What percentage do you think of the people watching your videos are making the food, and how many are just watching it you go through that experience of just being a viewer and a listener?
You'll have to excuse me for adjusting my camera while I talk here. Sorry.
Back in film school.
A surprising amount of people, I would say, are trying out what they see on the show.
Yeah.
I actually got this tattoo. This is the pasta from the movie Chef, pasta allo olio that he twists up for Scarlett Johansson. And
yes.
Whoa. Sorry, I don't know if you picked that up. There's chaos with cats upstairs.
That's the fork. The fork.
Yes,
yes, I swear to you.
I have the fork. Hang on.
Oh man.
Got it somewhere.
This is so great.
Oh, this is the one time I can't find it.
Yeah, sure, you got it.
Oh, here we go. Woo! It's in the silverware drawer where it belongs.
Oh, good.
So you're a fan of the movie?
I'm a fan of the movie. I rewatched the movie over Christmas break because my kids hadn't seen it, and I've been going down this Italian sauce, different variations of stuff, carbonara and cacio e pepe, and the big finale of the cacio e pepe, which is basically a cheese-based, a fancy mac and cheese for Italians, and then you twist it and put it on the plate in that nice little thing. And I'm doing it with a weird spatula with my just regular fork, and then we rewatch Chef, and I see him doing it with the carbon fork, and I'm like, holy cow, that's what I need. I got to get one of those. And you have it.
Yeah.
You have.
This is
oh man.
The one time I got to meet, actually a couple of times now, I guess I've been able to hang out with John. I call him by his first name, like I know him very well. It's just my one bragging thing, me and John. He was kind enough to, when I showed him I had the tattoo, he was kind enough to literally go into his home kitchen and grab this and be like, hey, here, this is the one from the movie, take it. And I was like, I started crying. It was mind blowing.
Oh my God.
So this is the one from the movie. It's a calphalon. and it says
That is
fork
so
on the
cool.
on the button. It says fork.
Oh, that's so great. I can't believe you got it. What made you get the tattoo in the first place?
Well, just sorry, this I went totally off the rails with your question because so many people had made the pasta aioli when I made an episode on it. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people have tagged me on Instagram saying, you know, I tried making it, and usually it's their first time cooking, which is like really special. That you know they saw this video, they're like, this is easy. If this doofus can do it, surely I can do it. And doofus being me, not John. And and it's gotten so many people cooking, even if it was just once. It's like a very, very special part of my career. So that's why I got that probably about a year before I got to meet him. And then a year later he's tweeting at me, and we're making lava cakes together.
Oh my God, that's so great. I saw the one episode that you had done about the Mandalorian cookies when little Baby Yoda's eating those blue cookies. And I saw that he zoomed in, I guess. He was at his, seemed like at his home or something. Yeah. It was so great. He really is an ambassador, isn't he? He reached out to me about my bread at one point, and I was like, oh, we're going to be friends. And then I never heard from him again.
He's a busy guy. He's busy saving the Star Wars universe from I won't say the corporate overlords, but he's out there busy saving the Star Wars universe, the MCU, and he's got like a very manic energy when he gets excited about something. So when I saw the Mandalorian cookies, I just decided to send him an email on a whim. I was like, hey, do you have any information on those cookies? And not a few minutes later, my phone rings and it says Jon Favreau on my phone, which we hadn't spoken in like 2 years. And he called me and he was like, yeah, no, so they were macarons, the half macarons. We wanted them to be like blue milk. And he just started waxing about these cookies. And he was so excited that I was like, hey, maybe just jump on a Zoom call with me real quick. I'll get dressed. And we knocked it out that night. And
wow.
So yeah, he's when he gets excited about something, he'll jump on it. And he's a bread fiend. So I'm not surprised that he hit you up, because you'd make a solid loaf, my friend.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, when I saw him go into the bread episode of his cooking show, there was a different level of excitement. Like he was really like, you could tell the passion was just a little bit higher. But that's what's so great about him. And I just watched, a little off topic, but I just watched the documentary about the making of Elf, and which was like, you know, his real big breakout one, as you know, at that level, and just his joy. He really does have an enviable, still sweet spot in him. You can tell just the way he went about making that movie, and his excitement for the little elements of it, and the same thing with all of the cooking. It's such a cool thing. There's something very great about what you do too, in that you have this sneaky way of teaching me, but you're not, like I say, like you're not like, okay, I know all this stuff, so let me throw it on you. You're like, I'm figuring this out. I'm trying to figure this out. Here's a link to somebody else's YouTube video that'll show you how to do this better than I can. But you can't short yourself, because even the simplest things like making an omelet, I think about every time I go to make the omelet. Like those little things. Are you aware of that, or was that just something that kind of happened naturally?
I wish that it were some kind of strategy, that I was just a very good teacher or something, but really it's because genuinely when you're seeing me cook on the show, I'm probably trying it for the first time. I have very good luck. And, I have some technical knowledge, but if I screw up, I'm going to show it. I want people to see when I screw up, because that's what's great about YouTube cooking shows. Most YouTube cooking shows is that people are excited to show their screw ups, because that's what YouTube's for. Like television, everything has to be perfect on the first try. Everything has to be beautifully lit, and your husband or wife has to be in full makeup when they come out to try it. But YouTube, it's quick, it's dirty. You're screwing up. Like it's So it's just something that sort of naturally came with the territory, both YouTube and just my not knowing what I'm doing generally.
Right. It's really it's funny when when I was knew I was going to talk to you, there were so many things because I just love the finished product so much. It really made me think of Steve Martin's book when he was talking about his becoming a comedian and finding his way. And it was that thing about the mistakes. It was like, I wondered, because he calls it out, and I was wondering about it with you, like how many elements of these shows that became mainstays were mistakes and how many were thought out. Like, did you think I'm just going to show my torso most of the time? Or was that just something you fell into?
Absolutely fell into. I can show you the test video that led to the first episode of Binging with Babish, which it's the exact same angle. And if you watch it from front to end, the camera moves about 60 degrees because the tripod was off kilter and it was on this stabilizing head. So the camera's just drifting away from me. And, but other than that, it's exactly the same. And
wow.
I wanted to make a show that was like primarily about the food. That's why I did the torso, because I wanted the focus to be on the food. I felt like cooking shows were getting a little bit too vlog oriented. I watched some show about a ramen burger, and the guy didn't start cooking for like 9 minutes, and it was like a 30-minute video. And it just, I was like, this isn't about the food anymore. This is about you. And those videos have their place, but it felt like every cooking video was getting like that. And I wanted to add to the conversation in a very food focused way. So anything else that I bring to it in my voiceover is just ancillary.
Yeah. That's so funny. The one that really stands out to me was because it was one of those like, no, he can't do this. Like, this is stupid. I wonder how he's going to get out of it. Was I forget the name of it, but it was the SpongeBob like triple patty, deep fried, double fried thing on a stick, and it was such a cartoon madness that you're like, all right, so he's funny, you're funny. I love all your comments as a comic thing. I'm like, how's he going to exit out of this and be like, no, we're not doing this? And it ends up with you eating it, and it's like, holy shit, he really pulled it off. He made it, and it actually looks pretty good.
Some of the stuff works out. Really gross fun fact about that is that you might notice that when I cut it in half, I take some of the dowels with me, the supportive rods that I inserted in it.
All the sticks.
And there were some wood shavings in what I ate, so I didn't let on to that.
Good acting.
It was. I definitely felt something in there that wasn't meant to be in a burger. It was not. It didn't have the natural place in a burger. But sometimes you end up in a good place. A more recent episode, I did like the overnight salad from SNL. You end up in a bad place. It's not going to work no matter what. So you just have to try to reinvent it from the ground up.
So funny. So that thing of like seeing stuff in film and TV, which was such a great hook, and it's such a fun thing to do. But now you've kind of like, you're doing like these basics where you're basically showing people like the basics of cooking and doing stuff. Is there any one of these that's turning you on more than another at this moment?
I guess basics, because it's a little easier. Binging is getting very tough because, I've done a lot of the classic foods that you think of when you think of foods from movies, the sauce from Goodfellas, the pasta from Elf. Now it's getting into some very conceptual territory, like the overnight salad.
Right.
I have one coming up where I literally spent half the day today just banging my head against the wall trying to figure out how am I going to make this appetizing, which is the Bachelor Chow from Futurama. I don't know if you ever watched Futurama.
I don't know that one. I know the show, but yeah.
It's kibble for adult bachelors. It's dog food for men. And that's the way it's portrayed, is this like dried kibble that makes its own gravy, and you put it under water and you eat it without your shirt on while you watch TV. And so I was like, how am I going to make this edible? And where we've ended up is I'm going to make a very nice stew, like a boeuf bourguignon or something like that. And I'm going to separate the meat from the sauce and cut the meat into little cubes, almost like kibble. And I'm going to freeze dry it using the freeze dryer that I have downstairs, which is this very dumb, expensive piece of equipment for like doomsday preppers with too much money. And I don't know why it exists, honestly. It's like a $5,000 thing for people who have bunkers. It's weird. But it removes all the liquid from the food. It removes like 99.9% of moisture from the food. So it's going to turn. I'm going to separate the beef and the sauce, and I'm going to spread out the sauce, and it'll turn the beef into these little cubes like kibble. And I'm going to take the sauce and pulverize it and mix it up with the beef. So that way, when I add hot water, it should rehydrate everything, and it should make its own gravy and just turn back into boeuf bourguignon, but it will look like dog food. So
that's amazing. It's amazing, but yes, it is much. Yeah. But yeah, that is a lot of work. That is a lot of work. I mean, it is a lot easier just to be like, no, we're going to make tacos tonight. But talking about a lot of work, it was for some anniversary of, I think, subscribers, when you went down to New Orleans and did the Homer New Orleans decadent eat-a-thon of him, which is so great in animation. You could be like, I went to this restaurant, and just rattle them all out and just draw a picture of it. But then you actually went out to recreate it. That was very cool. Was that a year anniversary? Or was it a subscriber? I forget.
That was a subscriber anniversary. I can't remember which one. I think it was 5 million. And
right.
That was one of the harder things we've done for the show. I appreciate you watching that.
So hard.
we learned from a Simpsons fanatic that most of the shots in that 54 shot montage of just different foods and restaurants were based on real restaurants and real foods. And so we were like, okay, well, we got to figure this out. And we went down there, we flew down there, me and a crew of 4, and 2 of my friends and whatever. And we started filming, and the day that we started filming, we found out that I believe they were Icelandic girls, 2 women from Iceland or Finland, one of the lands, had just put out a video, just put it out. We had just found on the first day that we got there that 2 women from either Finland or Iceland had just done it and just posted a video with perfect recreations, exactly what we were trying to do. The only shot that we could get that they couldn't get was the king cake because it wasn't in season when they had visited. And that was disheartening, to say the least, that we had just spent thousands of dollars and we were like already a day deep in shooting. And we were like, somebody just did this as good, if not better than we could imagine doing it. Let's keep going.
And
so it took 4 days.
Did it happen that truly that way, that you literally, like in the video, you find out that she put out the video while you're there doing the video? Is that we literally found out as we hit the restaurants. We made it seem, I think we edited it so it felt like it was after the first day, but it was after the second day, and we just didn't feel like making a whole thing out of it. So we did find out after the second day that we were there that they had just put it out, and then it was starting to get like traction on BuzzFeed and Eater and all these outlets, and we were just damn it. And it's so crazy.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, it's so funny. But you still had it at the end, which was cool. You still got to see it. I loved how the beginning of that video too was like, last time we were here, we worked, but now we're just going for fun. It's like, this is the most work I've ever done in my career. I don't think I've ever shot anything that extensive.
That was a 4-day long shoot of relentless. Not only was it, like 95 degrees and 150% humidity or whatever, being New Orleans in July, but the restaurants were very far apart and scattered, and every single shot was in a unique location. We couldn't reuse any locations, couldn't reuse any foods. And some of these places were out of business. Like, we had to come up with these different workarounds. Like, okay, we need to get duck I don't know. We need to get duck sausage from this place down the street from where this place burned down, and the oyster
Man.
pralines, they're not a thing anymore. So we need to fake that, and it was a million different things.
You're like, get me back to the studio. This road stuff is for the birds. How many? Do you know how many videos you've made at this point?
I don't know exactly how many. There have been, I think, oh boy. There's either been 200 or 300 bingings. I cannot remember how many. That it can't be 300. Well, wait, it's been 5 years, and I've been doing it almost every week. So 5 times 5. Okay, so all right, so like 200 something bingings.
Yeah,
and then we're about to hit 100 basics. And so I'm writing the cookbook for basics. But so all told, around 325, 350 videos, something like that.
Wow, that's so great. How was the experience with your first book? Did you like putting that out there?
Well, the first book, I'll tell you about the first book. It was no fault of the publishers. It was no fault of anybody. But basically, at the time, they found me when I had 20,000 subscribers. Like, I really had a very small user base, and they were trying to make a book about pop culture food. And they offered me, I guess enough time has passed that I can talk about this. They offered me a $10,000 flat fee to write the book. And I was not allowed any author's rights to the book. I was just being hired as a contractor, effectively, like in name only, or however that works. Initially, my name was not even supposed to be on the book. This was meant to be one of those coffee table books that you get at Urban Outfitters as a joke. And over the course of writing the book, about a 9-month process, the channel exploded. By the time we were done writing, I had over 1 million subscribers. So they radically changed their sort of marketing strategy. Oh my
God.
And vastly underprinted the first round, by 5,000 copies. Basically, I think of the 8,000 pre-orders, I think 2,500 people got their books. It was a disaster.
Oh my God. What a disaster.
That was a wreck. And I only said yes to it because, again, the channel was very small, and I was going through a divorce at the time. I was broke. So 10 grand, I was like, yes, let's roll. I'll write 2 books for 10.
Oh my God. That's so funny. Did they go on to reprint it and use your name and make a lot of money on your behalf?
But by the time the book came out, they were putting the name on it, and I think they've stopped printing it. Actually, I think they've shifted more towards housewares or whatever. But whatever, we had a good time. So
the early days. It's the early days.
The blender years.
It's a hard thing to shoot food and make it look good. I remember working for a small ad agency, and shooting food was like, to make food look decent. I mean, you could tell just from any menu you get or you see online, and people are just shooting it on Yelp, and you're trying to figure out, should I eat here? And then you see pictures of the food, you're like, oh, that looks like garbage. There's a lot of trickery to make food look good, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the worst part is on Yelp, it's all just dudes with their phones. So that's you're never going to eat there now because some guy took a really shitty picture of his carbonara.
Right, exactly.
I mean, food photography is absolutely nuts. When we shot the photography for the second book, we did it all in my house. Yeah. We set up a studio just in my home, and we had 3 food stylists to prep cooks that were just making every dish, because we had to shoot the entire cookbook, which was 80 photos in 5 days. And so they were just banging them out of the kitchen. And not only the tricks that they utilize in food photography, just using glue and using all the kinds of rods to support things and all the stuff that you could never eat. And after each one, I had to ask, can I eat this? Is this edible or is this glue? So it's a learning curve. But also, like any real cooking show, is making any given dish twice. there's the host making it, and then somebody else makes it, and they can get steaming close-ups. And I've never once done that. And every time I've had to do it, I've been like, seriously, I have to make this again right now?
Yeah, I can't.
I'm tired.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, right. This is exhausting work. Is there a food that or a type of food, Italian food, French food, American food, that really has a special place in your heart? And follow-up question, at any point do you get sick of food?
I'd be in trouble if I got sick of food. But I get sick of cooking for sure sometimes, which nobody's ever going to want to hear me say. But
yeah, no, but it's
I cook. I'm sorry, the Zoom lag. Sorry, we keep.
No, it's all yours. It's all yours.
I can only imagine, as somebody who hosts an interview podcast, how much you've had to get used to the Zoom lag, like that, just constant built-in. Okay, I got to wait 1 second before he responds. I'm still getting used to it, but I cook for myself and those around me a shockingly low amount, probably once or twice a week. But everybody who meets me thinks like, oh, so you cook every meal you've ever eaten? Like, you're constantly. I'm like, no, I'm cooking all day. Like, when I'm done, I'm not going upstairs and like, okay, time to kick off the shoes and get back to work. It's like,
what do you want?
I'm trying to get some takeout right now and smoke a joint. But I don't really ever get sick of food itself. And if there's, I guess if there's two different cuisines that really hold a special place in my heart. One is French, because it's just kind of the backdrop of the training that I gave myself. It's just most of the dishes that I learned how to teach myself to cook, and just the kind of foundation for most things we as Americans love so much, French and Italian. And the other one that I hold in such high regard is Vietnamese food, because it's so unattainable to me, not only because I have so little grasp of how to make it, but also because every single dish has cilantro in it. And I'm one of those people who just cannot do cilantro. So it just feels like this unattainable. If I ever go to Southeast Asia, I'm screwed, because I'm going to have to learn how to say no cilantro in every language in every area that I visit.
That is such a weird thing, the cilantro thing. The cilantro thing is either... Yeah, right. There's like a real thing. Like some people, if you hate it and you don't have the palate for it, you literally loathe it.
It's a genetic marker. It's something that like you literally cannot shake. You're genetically made so it tastes like soap. That's why I got a tattoo of it. I have a tattoo of cilantro right here.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's the one thing I can't ever shake. Like, it's the one thing I can't ever just teach myself to like.
It's your kryptonite.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny.
Superman,
so when you said the French
kryptonite,
when you said that you were finding your way and with the French cooking as that being the basis, did you spend a lot of time with cookbooks? Did you spend a lot of time just researching? Was it self-taught? Did you take classes?
I mean, I spent a lot of time watching YouTube videos. That's
wow.
I am regurgitated knowledge in a lot of ways, in that I just absorbed a whole bunch of YouTube information and then just putting my own YouTube information out there, recycled information. But I've read my fair share of cookbooks and watched my fair share of videos, but. And I didn't even, I say I love French food. I didn't ever visit France for the first time until last year.
Right.
And loved it, of course. But I had this affection for this thing that I didn't really have a true understanding of. I just had this translated version of it.
That's what's so great also about your thing. And I know I'm repeating myself a little bit from the beginning, but it's that there's a hint that like, you know more than I do. And you're leading me and you're teaching me, but you're also humble enough and open enough. Like, I don't know everything, and that there is another YouTube link. I'll put it up there that will show you this better than I'm going to show you. And it's kind of that you're that cool result. You taking in other YouTube and doing all that. It's part of this community really that you've grown, and it's a very cool thing. I was thinking about that the other night. There's not one human problem that you can have that if you go on YouTube, you won't find some other human being has dealt with it. Everything from clogging a pipe to something stuck in your ear, someone has done it, someone's been hurt by it, and they're going to help you get out of it. And that's what's so cool about your thing, more than a Food Network show or any of that other stuff. This really feels, and I'm interested to see if you got a sense of that you've actually been a part of a community, but also have grown your own community. It's like your own kind of like universe, Babish universe.
BCU. I absolutely feel that, not only because 90% of my ideas for the show come from people yelling out in the comments what they want to see next. Like, that's where I get most of my ideas from. So there's
cool
a small facet of the community there. Then there's like the subreddit, the Binging with Babish subreddit, where it's a community of, I'd say most of the posts, the vast majority of the posts, are people who are posting pictures of what they've recreated for my show. And
right.
Yeah, the YouTube represents an incredible democratization of knowledge. It was always there, but with the dawn of the internet, it was almost like it was like libraries, basically. Like, all the information was there, but you had to go there and read all of it. But now with YouTube, you can just sit there and watch somebody who's like very mildly entertaining tell you how to do something that you're interested in doing. And it's amazing. It's the most effective way to disseminate knowledge. Jess, my girlfriend, and I just spent the weekend in this beautiful cabin upstate New York, and there was at the end we read in this card, like, this is a 100-year-old cabin we bought 2 years ago, and we restored it by hand with no prior knowledge. We just watched YouTube videos. And I was like, geez, like, I was standing in tangible evidence of how you can just watch videos and just make something spectacular.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is amazing. And I always catch myself. I'll have like this boomer alert when I'm like sitting there with a manual or doing something, like, no. There's no reading. There's no manuals. Go to YouTube. They'll show you so much easier.
I don't know about you, but when I'm reading a manual, I constantly try to think, where's the find Command F? How do I find a specific word or phrase that I'm looking for? Oh, it's paper. You can't do that.
Right. That's right. Exactly. Oh, man. Well, this was so great. I really appreciate you spending time. This is really, really a treat. And as soon as this vaccine is in my body, I will come back to New York, and we'll go out and we'll dine and we'll drink and we'll do something that neither of us will have to work. You won't have to cook. I won't have to tell jokes, and we'll just have a great night. I really hope you take me up on that invite.
I was already looking forward to the virus being over with, but now I'm really looking forward to it. So thank you. That sounds amazing. I promised myself I'd tell you this before I lost you. So I have just a precious few minutes to do so. I love your comedy so much. I remember when we, thank God you put out You're Doing Great this year. Thank God. Because as my girlfriend put it, it was the TED Talk that we all really needed. It was your comedy, I feel like, is rooted in the sort of the cynical outlook that you have to have as a comedian in the modern age, but through a positive lens that sort of reframes negative things as positive things and helps you see the silver lining to the cloud. And that's my very pedestrian way of putting it. You have such a command over the craft that I'm completely in awe of it. And I also just want to point out real quick that you have a joke in Live from New York that has aged like fine wine, where you were talking about, you said, because it came out in 2011, and you said, Facebook, they toppled a regime on Facebook. No one saw that coming, and the entire crowd exploded with laughter because it was such a ridiculous situation.
Oh my God.
And
I
now here
totally
we are.
yeah, my God. I almost forgot about that joke. Well, yeah. Well, I do tend to live on the sunnier side of the street, not naively. I think, if you could deal with your share of tragedy and stuff, it kind of you're left with a choice of what are you going to do? Are you going to live on the dark side of the street or the sunny side? And I'm always trying to push over there because the other way seems, frankly, like a waste of time. And and I think that's really why I'm drawn to your work too. It's a nice little positive respite from all of the stuff, and even within the food universe, it's a brighter spot than most, even in a lot of people are pushing into that space, and yours, you've really nailed it on so many levels, on a humor level, on a teaching level. It's just so refreshing and so great, and we'll raise a glass and we'll continue these compliments. Hopefully by the summer.
I got a million more. Thank you so much for making us laugh, man, and thank you so much for having me.
All right, buddy. Take care of yourself.
Cheers.
So you spend a lot of your time sleeping. You spend a lot of your time on this planet trying to sleep, especially nowadays, trying to get a good night's sleep. Very difficult. A lot racing through your mind, a lot of anxiety out there, a lot of worry about when you're going to get the vaccine in your butt. There's a lot of things going on. You don't need your bed to be one of the parts of the sleep process that is fighting against you. You don't need it. You need a good mattress. We have the mattress for you. This is what happened to me. I'll get right to it. I went online. I took the sleep quiz that Helix presents, the good people at Helix, Helix, Helix Sleep. They have a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete, and you put in all your preferences, at what position you sleep, do you sleep alone, what size bed, do you like a firm pillow, do you like all that stuff. And then they spit back at you the mattress of your dreams. Soft, medium, firm mattresses. Mattress is great for cooling you down if you sleep hot, which my wife does. If you sleep cold, I'm telling you this. You know what? There's a joy to being alive at this moment in history for so many reasons, and it's because people are figuring out the right way to do things that people didn't figure out. We should be focusing on good mattresses tailored directly to people. Up to this point is insane, but thank God the people at Helix have shown up and are doing it right. Mattress, their overall mattress, the best #1 overall mattress pick of 2020 by GQ and Wired magazine. They give you a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for 100 nights risk-free. 100 nights of you slobbering and laying around. And if you don't like it, you send it back. That's how confident they are that they know you're going to like it, pretty much. As soon as I got it, I was like, oh yeah, done. I thought I was sleeping on a good mattress, by the way. I was like, do I even need to get rid of this one? And then I laid on that. I'm like, yeah, I do. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helixsleep.com/papa. So go to helixsleep.com/papa, P-A-P-A, and you will get up to $200 off your mattress order and 2 free pillows. Come on. Sleep is important, kids. They're going to help you. Thank you, Helix, for coming along. And now it's time for a quick bite. Who's it with? You'll find out.
Joey?
Yep.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, John Papa? How are you, my brother?
I'm doing okay. Just wanted to check in with you and see, I've been so jealous that you went back to New Jersey and are in the land of all great food. If you're an Italian American or a Cuban that loves Italian food. And I wanted to see, what have you been eating lately?
You have no idea. Well, I got surgery done, so I slowed down. But I'm in an area that everything you order is fucking good from this area. Because all the Italians from Staten Island moved out. And they moved to my area of New Jersey.
Oh.
So up and down the 9, any of those Italian places you stop at, are tremendous. I got a place right behind my house here, believe it or not, like a cold brew pizza. Everything in there is like a 6, but their fucking meatballs are tremendous. You get 3 meatballs with a piece of bread and a slab of regular cheese.
Oh my God.
I sit there with my little glass of sangria. I don't bother nobody. You understand me? Nobody else. I got my little mask on. The Chinese is fucking tremendous. We go to this other place. I got one down the corner, Empire Szechuan. It's good. It's fucking, for me and you, it's good.
Right.
But where she goes to pick up Empire Seas or something,
Uh-huh.
oh, the fucking mushu pork, the shrimp egg foo young. Are you fucking kidding me? This is shit you can't order in California.
It's really true. When I grew up in New Jersey, whenever we got Chinese food, it was always mushu pork. And I have to say, out here, I don't think I've had it once.
No, nice mushu pork, crispy.
Yeah.
But the pizza, like everybody has a good slice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like for you to survive here, you need to put your heart into your slice. But it's not going to work.
It's really true.
It's not like, LA. So everybody has good pizza. I take it to Castbox. The other day I was hungry with it, and I go, let's just go in there and get a slice. I left there like, oh my God, let me get another slice and a shrimp palm.
Oh my God.
I ate a shrimp parmesan yesterday.
Shrimp parmesan. I don't think I've ever had shrimp parmesan.
Shrimp parmesan and a hard fucking Italian roll. Let me tell you something. It was like a 12-inch. I ate half a bit at lunch and the other half at dinner. But I'm really watching myself. I got a old school cartel, like 2 fat white chicks that don't play games. They've owned it for 30 years. They make me a fucking vanilla ice cream soda that my little pubic hairs want to jump up in the fucking air. I can feel my little asshole hemorrhoid fucking rubbing. It's so delicious. The ice cream cakes, I bought one for my wife because that's a tradition in the Diaz house. Probably even from Ralph's.
Right.
You got to taste. My daughter's like, it don't taste like chemicals. I go, no, it tastes like fucking ice. I can taste some marshmallows, Daddy.
With the little crumbles in it?
Oh, my God, it's so fucking good. It's not even cold yet, Papa. It's 48, 50. The sun's out. I mean, you're not going to go out there without a T-shirt and skateboard.
Yeah.
But it's not what it used to be when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck out of here. January 18th, there'd be fucking icicles. Your fucking ears would want to crack.
It really
changed it completely.
Yeah, it really has. I know. I mean, how many days of snow have you had since you've been back?
One.
That's crazy.
9 inches, fucking beautiful. 3 days later, gone. When I was a kid, that was the base snowstorm.
Yeah.
That was the one that in April you looked at and said, holy shit, that snow still didn't fucking disappear. It's not like that no more.
Oh, man, that's so crazy.
It really is true that whatever. Look, I got here August 19th. I only had 1 day of humidity.
Jeez. It really is weird. It's kind of like you're basically living with L.A. weather, close to L.A. weather, but surrounded by the best pizza in the world.
Think of you living next. Everybody who lives next door to me is Tom Papa. They knock on your door with Italian cookies.
Oh, man.
If you want to come over, the kids are playing.
Oh, my God.
It's a different world, Tom.
Yeah.
My wife has friends. There's people that don't even know I've done a movie that I have conversations with every day.
Wow.
They have no idea. Like, I've done the movie, and they don't give a fuck. It would make a difference.
Right. Yeah. That sounds kind of depressing, actually.
Yeah, we came from a society where, how many for Instagram? I mean, somebody told me one time that, man, I got to get close to you. You got a lot of Instagram friends. I was like, that's the creepiest statement I've ever heard. That's creepy shit.
That is creepy.
My wife has her own friends. They don't give a fuck what I do for a living.
Yeah.
Not her for an individual. My
That's
daughter's
nice.
gone. I left her at Florentine's at fucking 12.
You what?
I dropped her off at Jimmy Florentine's at 12.
Oh, really?
My daughter, goes to Florentine, lives around the corner. And he's
Oh,
got
no
a son,
way.
and there's kids on that block. They're like the little fucking rascals.
Oh, man, it sounds like you're living in my childhood.
It's kind of, sort of. There's not as many kids, but you know what, man? They're doing a good fucking job. Like, I want to sue LA for the last 7 years I lived there because I paid such high taxes and I got nothing in return. There's not a fucking grass out of place at the park.
Right.
Like, there's not a grass out of place, bro.
Yeah.
And the floor in the bathroom. There's 3 parks in Marlboro. You know, I can't wait till this is over so I could really take advantage of what New Jersey has done.
Yeah, I know.
New York still sucks. Atlantic City still sucks, but
of course, of course, yeah. The traffic going to the city sucks, but still, there's just so much. Yeah, it's hard to explain to people because New Jersey becomes like this punchline for so many people. But if you grew up there and you really know it, and you know the beaches and going out west, out on 80, out to the country part of it, and the people are just all hilarious. It is one of my favorite places.
And one of the foods that I have rediscovered is my Jewish side. Oh my God, I got a place around the corner. I go in there for an egg salad on poppy seed with 2 fucking pickles, half salad. And then I go deep some days. I get the white fish.
Yo.
I mean, these fucking Jews don't even sell roast beef or turkey. Like, I got those Jews in the neighborhood that just sell egg salad, herring. Rich Voss comes over and we go over there.
Oh,
I got the one that does, it's like the Jerry style, that they have like huge pastrami sandwiches.
Oh my God.
My manager's coming tomorrow and he's coming for that reason. For that. He goes, I want to go to that deli you keep talking about. He goes, so I'll just go there and then go to your house and bring your food. I said, perfect. Just get me an egg salad on Kaiser with a knish.
Oh man, you're killing me. This phone call is officially a mistake.
But I haven't gained any weight, so that's good. I lift weights like a madman, and
Good. You taking care of yourself?
I don't eat that much ice cream or nothing like that. So
all right, good.
The first month was the initial shock.
Sure.
And by September, I decided that I got to give pizza a break because everywhere you go, they're gonna have 2 pies there.
Mm-hmm.
So anywhere I go, whatever house you go to, they got 2 pies just off principle. They got a Sicilian and a fucking cheese.
Oh my God.
So I'm walking in already 16 points light on Weight Watchers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just walked in, I'm 16 points light. I got a deli around the corner from me named Laboni's, just Italian.
Yeah.
So I go in there and get my meatballs. You could buy 10 meatballs. I could buy seafood salad in there with the squiggy, the whole fucking thing.
God, you don't even have to cook. It's just all there for you around every corner.
They even have chicken cutlets at ShopRite now, but they're already cooked. All you got to do is put them in the fucking oven, throw salt and pepper on that motherfucker, and I'm the honeymooners.
That's really that's the whole reason I cook so much, because it's the only place I can get it is in my own kitchen.
Yeah, you're not going to get it anywhere else. How the girls doing?
They're doing good. They're getting itchy. They want to get out of here. They want this thing to be over so they can run around, be kids again, and head to the Jersey Shore for the 4th of July.
You traveling?
No, not recently. I did up until like November. Now I'm probably won't be out again until maybe April.
That's what I'm waiting on. April.
Yeah.
There's going to be nothing but outdoor stuff here.
Yeah,
now
exactly.
They really have it down to a science. So.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, it's so good to talk to you. I miss you.
I love you. Thank you.
Love you
too.
too.
Me away yesterday.
I love you too.
Right?
All right, buddy.
You got it.
That's it, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to Breaking Bread with Tom Papa. As always, like and subscribe, and one day we will be as big as one corner of the Babish universe. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next week.